Boom.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
There was a time when you said, as soon as you see my light come on, that's when we're good.
Well, that's
Did
when
that
I
go
was.
away?
That was when I was using my headset mic as like my normal microphone. So when I was doing that, it was a good indicator because I would just mute myself. But
Now I've
now I'm
I've
a
got no
part of it.
indicator. I just have you saying boom.
Boom.
Uh, Scotty, Cam Newton has been released. It happened yesterday. I know you saw it.
I did see it, and I was not surprised at the slightest. Like it was
Not at
shouldn't even
all.
be not at all. I mean, there, Cam Newton was never going to be the guy in New England. He was there to maintain with the fan base some semblance of, hey, we're trying. Bill Belichick I mean, there's just no way that Cam Newton was ever going to be the guy. He's washed up. He's injured. He's not nearly the player that he was 2 or 3 years ago. So as soon as they got a guy that they could build a team around, and they got a modicum of confidence that someone like Mac Jones could actually be the guy, they said, you know what? We're done. We're wiping our hands. See you, Cam. Congratulations on your season of disappointment, and you're not going to get a job anywhere else. That's Cam Newton.
Dude, you're pretty harsh, man. I mean, I don't think that I don't like the concept or the the perspective that if you are cut or released, you're a bad player. That doesn't equate, especially in this situation when there are so many other factors to why Cam was even on the Patriots in the first place and why he was released. I mean, they took a chance on Cam last year for a reason because they know he's good enough. He could keep the ship afloat. And I mean, I know that I think Cam's better than just serving that role, like an Andy Dalton or a Nick Foles kind of role. I think Cam's much better than those guys. But they obviously thought he could do it, and he did do it. You talk about he had a bad season last year. It wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad. He wasn't. He was healthy all year. I mean, he was. Yeah,
For the Patriots and for the roster that they had for Bill
it was a
Belichick,
terrible roster.
it wasn't that bad of a roster. It was
Scotty,
it was good.
Scotty, name, rattle off some Patriots wide receivers. Go ahead.
Well,
Okay. So, I mean,
I know.
He had hold on. He had no one to play with.
Harry, they just got Nelson Aguilar, so I don't think he was on the team last year.
And it's fantasy football season, so I know where you're drawing these from too. You're scouted up.
I mean, he passed
Well, you gotta
for like
scout.
2,600 yards. Like, I mean, they're
That's
just
pretty low.
I mean,
listen,
compared
really
to
low.
Cam Newton.
like his
Here,
other seasons, where he's
the
hitting
point with
like
Cam.
mid threes.
Cam Newton is he is a good quarterback, but he's not a good quarterback for every kind of system. He has to have a style of play where he can use his legs. They have designed runs. He's not a great thrower, but he can throw better than Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
Would you rather have Lamar Jackson on your team or Cam Newton?
Right now, Lamar, but for a career, I'd rather have Cam. Cam was also an MVP of the league.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, look, if we want to set the clock back to 2015, it's a completely different conversation, man.
Hold on,
we're talking
about we're talking about Cam. You're all like he got released. He's never going to play again. He's never going to have another team again. He's washed up. I just disagree. I mean, being released by the Patriots had so much more to do with them believing in Mac Jones and less to do with them not believing in Cam.
But if Cam was really that great of a player, that good of a it's not like his contract was enormous for this season. They could have kept him on the payroll as the backup and just.
It makes no sense to keep him. It makes no sense to keep it. Well, because
if he was that good, he would.
No. So the Patriots have had Tom Brady for the last 16 years. They want that style of quarterback. That's Bill Belichick's style of quarterback. That's not Cam. We all knew it wasn't Cam. But we all figured, it's Belichick. He can make it work with anyone. And that might have been true, but that's not what they wanted to do. So they found a guy in Mac Jones who fits the image of what they want. Belichick and Saban are buddies. We know this. So the only reason to keep Cam around after you announce Mac Jones will be the starter is to kind of train and develop him. But You don't need to do that with a guy like Cam because their skill sets are completely
Cam
different.
can't do that. That's the point. Cam is not that type of quarterback.
I already said that, but
But
you're talking about it. Hold on. You're talking about him as if he's washed up. I disagree. He's just not the style that the Patriots want right now.
I'm saying he's washed up to the point where he can't even go be a backup anywhere. No one wants him even as a. Where is he going to go, Kev? Tell me where Cam Newton goes now. Where does he go from here?
I'm so sorry. I forgot that you have the phone numbers of all the GMs in the league, and you've been on the horn over the last 24 hours confirming that nobody wants him even as a backup. Thank you, Scotty. I didn't know we were there yet. Thank you.
Well, that's okay. That's why I'm here.
What were you going to say, Drew?
I was going to
You
say.
still dodged my question, but.
I was going to say that it makes what Kevin's saying makes sense stylistically. You wouldn't get somebody like Cam Newton to train somebody like Mac Jones. You would get somebody like Cam Newton to train like a young Lamar Jackson or somebody who's also going to use their legs and be a part of that same kind of system. So it makes sense when you're talking about like stylistically, it's just not a right fit. I mean, people lose their jobs all the time because it's not a right fit, right? Like
I agree that it's not a right fit, but the problem is that the problem of it not being the right fit is that Cam Newton is a run-pass option quarterback that's 32 years old now, and he doesn't have the physical ability to do what he used to do. He's just not good anymore. It happens. Careers go and they go. People decline, and he's done. And because he the style of the play that he is, he's not even that type of a quarterback that could educate and train others and give some leadership. You guys are making my point for me that he can't. He's got nowhere to go now. He's out of the NFL. He'll sign some Houston team, team desperate for a quarterback. Probably bring him back for like a farewell tour. He'll do terrible there, and the days of Cam Newton are done. They're just done.
I can't believe I can't tell if you're trying to be sensationalist, like get a reaction out of us or something, or if you truly in your heart believe that Cam Newton isn't better than a Tyrod Taylor. He absolutely is.
He's at the same level of a Tyrod Taylor now.
You make me question whether you watch football or not. You do this to me all the time.
Okay. So answer me finally. You've been dodging you dodged my questions yesterday. You're dodging my questions now. Where does Cam Newton go? Tell me where he fits in. Who's going to go out there and go after him? This guy's available? He's a great former MVP quarterback in a league where quarterback is king. He's this amazing guy that just didn't fit the scheme. Tell me where he goes. Tell me where he's successful. Tell me what team he can take to the playoffs.
I didn't evade anything, and when we were talking about it yesterday, I answered this pointless question. But I don't believe that to start the season, now that we're like a week and a half out.
Forget this.
No. Let me finish. Am I allowed to finish?
Go finish.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. I don't think he's going to be with any team to start the season. It's going to take some kind of injury to a team that either doesn't have a lot of players or to a team that's invested in a young guy that gets hurt. Maybe it is a Houston, but I think that they part of the reason they released Cam instead of just keeping him on the roster is so that that's an option for him, and he's free to do that.
That's fine. But if he's this great quarterback who just didn't work out, wasn't the right fit in New Orleans or New England, but otherwise he's better than a Tyrod Taylor who's on a team. Just tell me, forget the season, Kev. Where was he going to go that has the right scheme that he could be? Tell me what team out there with what coaching staff. Forget who's available in the season, whatever. Tell me where you actually see him going, where he can play and take a team to the playoffs. Where? Just forget the logistics of anything.
I could drop him on a roster, but I don't want that to sound like I think this will happen, because I think there's a lot that's going to happen between now and the end of the year. A lot of the coaches are going to change, players are going to
forget
get
this
hurt.
Year. Just forget this year, forget this season. Maybe he takes the whole year off and he just trains his butt off and he signs with the team next year. What current coaching staff situation with a quarterback question right now? Where does he go that he could be successful? Don't forget to dropping him on a roster. That's not what I'm talking about. You're saying that he's this amazing quarterback that's going to be successful.
I'm not saying he's even I'm not even saying he's in the top 15 quarterbacks in the league. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying I'm saying my only point is that he's not washed. That is what you're saying. I'm saying he is not washed. If you're telling me that he will never play another snap of football again in his life, I disagree with that. I think you're wrong. I would take that bet. I bet you $50 right now.
He'll probably be on the teams at some point.
I'll bet you $50 that he'll play again.
No, he'll probably play. He'll play again.
I bet you $100 he'll play again.
He will never. I bet you $100 he'll never play in a playoff game, leading the team the entire season.
No.
To me, that's
no. No fun.
His days as a starter and like the guy for a team are done. And for Cam Newton, being Cam Newton, that's what he likes to be. He's kind of the center of attention type of a guy. If he's not the guy, that's why the Patriots didn't even keep him as a backup, because he has no value not being the guy, and he's never going to be the guy.
That's the thing. Like being the guy. I mean, the reason I'm struggling to answer that question is partly because some of these like bad teams right now that are really quarterback needy could use Cam. Like Denver could use Cam right now. Houston could use Cam right now. But I think Vic Fangio's, if they don't have any success this year, I think that he might be out the door. And the staff in Houston is brand spanking new. They probably want to just tank and draft somebody. So that's why I'm saying I don't think that it will necessarily happen. But that doesn't mean he'll never play again or that he's even bad.
Which is why he's washed up. His time is done. Everyone wants to move forward. He's not a forward guy.
Washed up.
Can you plug him in somewhere if someone gets
Nick
injured?
Foles is still playing in the league. I mean, washed up.
But Nick Foles was never Cam Newton in his prime. He was never an MVP. He's a Super Bowl MVP for sure. He had a good playoff run. But Cam Newton is supposed to be like, a franchise guy at 32 years old.
No, not supposed to be. He was a franchise guy,
right?
With the Carolina.
Exactly. And if you look at people at similar ages and even older ages, he just isn't. He's not going to match up ever to what they are. No team out there is ever going to say, "Yeah, I'm going to sign Cam Newton to a 3-year deal." And I think, you know what? I could build a team around this guy, and we're going to go to the Super Bowl, or we're going to make the playoffs, or we're going to be competitive. That is never going to happen again.
I could see. I don't think it'll happen. But if I could get Cam on a cheap 3-year deal, and I was in Pittsburgh, I'd do it. What the hell? I'd do it right now, and that would be really exciting. That coaching staff could.
I hope that the Steelers do that. I hope that the Steelers move on from Roethlisberger and sign Cam Newton, because that's just going to guarantee that the Steelers are never going to be anywhere near the top of the NFC North for as long as they have him. I promise. I mean, it's over. It's over for him. Sorry, Cam. It was a good run. You had cool suits. We'll see it. Maybe he'll be on a ESPN Sunday morning show or something, doing some analysis or whatever. But that's the best that Cam can do from here on out is like a Ryan Fitzpatrick bouncing from team to team that just needs a quarterback for a season. That is literally his ceiling at this point.
You're a hater.
That's just what happened in New England.
You're a hater.
I'm just thinking the truth. What do you want here, Kev? What do you think's going to happen?
I don't know what's going to happen. I just hope he finds it. I just hope a team takes a chance on him. I think that he's good enough to be a full-time starter again. That's all.
Okay.
I don't know that it'll happen, but I think it should happen.
Well,
you haterade over here. But hey, guess what, Scotty?
What?
September.
It is September.
You know what that means?
It means
it's time to start watching some baseball. All right.
It means the boys of summer.
Finally, the baseball season has begun. I'm so excited. Except now that my team's like trailing and probably not going to make the playoffs. Those damn Reds.
You definitely brought the Browns' curse to San Diego because they were humming along. The Browns are
good now.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens this season. But the curse of your fandom has been given to the San Diego Padres, who had every opportunity to succeed. And they were succeeding all spring long, all while you were like fiddling around with your team and who you wanted and all this type of stuff. As soon as you land on the Padres, they tank.
Not true. I chose the Padres back in April. They've been doing well.
That's not entirely true. Their pitching staff has really tanked, though. Their pitching is supposed to be good, but it's just not.
They definitely fell apart, but they had injuries too, and pitching's been bad. Yeah, come on, man. It's not all
Well,
me.
it's also to be fair, they are playing in the toughest division in baseball with the
They
Giants
are.
and the Dodgers. They're both equally fantastic, and that race is going to be a fun one to watch.
I mean, the
The
Giants damn near
Dodgers,
locked it up, right?
no, the Dodgers are now half a game behind the Giants as of last night, and um, it's super exciting. But the crazier part is that whichever team doesn't win that division is just automatically in the wild card. I think like that's almost confirmed with just like a little over a month left. Um,
The second team, you mean?
yeah, like the second team will pretty much be the wild card spot. So um, that's kind of tough for both of your teams, right? Both your teams are,
It's
At least they're
true.
playing
tight
too.
races.
We're in a tough spot. Drew, maybe you can help fact check me on this because I know last year's playoff season was a little wonky with COVID and how many teams they let in, but they're back to the existing rule where the division winners and the two wild cards play just head to head one game, right?
I don't know about one game, but I do believe that it is back to the same amount of teams.
Okay.
Um,
That one game is going to be huge
the one
because
game will be
can you
huge.
imagine either the Dodgers or the Giants potentially winning 100 games this season and playing a one game playoff game against either the Dodgers or the Reds or whoever
Yeah,
and losing
exactly.
losing one game?
Well,
That would
it'll
be
be
just the worst.
honestly, it'll be just like the I think it was like 2014 or 2015 where it was the Pirates, Cubs, and the Cardinals all had 98 to 99 wins, and the wild card game was the Cubs versus the Pirates at Pittsburgh. I went to that and watched. I watched Arrieta throw a complete game shutout against the Pirates at Pittsburgh, and it was just a 1-0. And then from then on, Pirates just went downhill, like straight back to the grave. It was awful. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean those kind of scenarios, like where you have three teams in one division, where they're you got the one winner and then the remaining two are like the wild card teams. That's gotta be so miserable. Like, I mean, I don't know. It'll be fun to watch this year. I'm assuming that the standings will probably stay where they're at. I honestly think that the Giants are going to take the division, and I think that it'll probably be the Dodgers going in the wild card. Not being too overly optimistic. They've had a lot of injuries, and they just need to get players back. Like, honestly, that's kind of it right now. I think they're once you get a couple of their starters back, like Kershaw and stuff like that, I mean, they'll be really good. But you
Hey,
know,
what happened to the Mets? Well, they fell apart.
Guess what? I don't. I mean, oh,
Scotty,
that was
I'm
no
going
for
to give you. I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you
for
60 seconds, Scotty. Just tell me how you feel about the Mets season.
this has been the best season of the Mets. I there are a few things in life that I like. I'm a pretty positive guy. I like it when people succeed. I like it when people find success and just people are generally happy. Except when it comes to my rivals,
Except for Cam Newton
except for Cam Newton, Penn State,
and the Mets.
Michigan, and the Mets. Okay, and to see like this is just like I don't get to see my teams win a lot, but it's great to see the teams that I hate lose a lot. And this has been a good one. And the very fact that Javi Baez was out there being a little baby because the Mets fans were booing him because he was going like 0-12, and they traded they sold. They were buyers, okay, for at the trade deadline. They tooled up and they got all these players, and they've all sucked because they're playing in New York and they're probably drinking that crappy New York Queens water or something because
Hey,
because they have tanked. And let me just tell you, as a Phillies fan, regardless of what the Phillies do, to see the Mets fall apart like this has been a good thing.
I will say one thing. New York State tap water, at least in the city, it's actually pretty good. No complaints. So check your facts, Jack.
That's fair. That's fair. But I'm just really
Uh,
glad that they're just mired in controversy. The team and the fans are at war with each other like that. I mean, as a fan of a rival team, that's the dream right there.
so I'm gonna rattle off a couple teams here. Can you tell me real or fake? White Sox.
Fake.
Andrew?
I think they're real.
Oh, Tampa Bay.
They're real.
Real.
They're real, dude. That's not
They're
even a
real.
question.
Cincinnati Reds.
Fake.
They're fake.
I don't want them to be fake, but they're fake.
Atlanta.
They're fake. The NFC.
How do you
East, real
smell like
quick.
you just smelled something bad? You got a whiff of something bad. You're like, oh.
The East.
The
is,
NFC.
The East is very tough.
It's a tough division, but I put San Francisco, Milwaukee, and LA above any team in the East right now. So
Yeah.
whoever wins in the East will lose the first round of the playoffs, most likely.
How far is
I
Houston
think
going to
that's
go?
very fair, actually.
How far is Houston going to go?
If they're even playing clean right now, they might go some. I don't know. They shouldn't go anywhere. I think they should have a playoff ban for 3 years for what they did.
If there's one team to have the balls to get caught cheating and then continue to keep cheating, would it be the Houston Astros?
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
did you see no, okay. Did you see like it was like midway through the season, Altuve like hit a walk-off homer and he like unbuttoned his jersey and like went like to show that he was a bare chest. It's like if you have to do that kind of stuff, then like okay, come on, dude.
I lost all respect for the Houston team.
Yeah,
and COVID totally let them off the hook. People like going into with no fans, going into the 2020 season. I mean, no one was there giving them guff or anything like that. I mean, they totally got let off the hook. Yeah, giving them guff. Yeah, you ever give people guff?
The guff got me. I've given it plenty of times. I wasn't expecting it there. Love some guff.
Expect the unexpected when it comes to me.
All right. Hey, Scott, you're talking about college football.
Yeah.
Ohio State plays tomorrow night.
They do play tomorrow night. I'm not keen on the Thursday night college football game, especially to open the season against a Big Ten school. That seems like a trap game to me. For a team with
you'd rather be a Troy, huh?
I'd rather be noon on a Saturday at home against like a Akron or something. That's how you start off the season, But it's kind of nice because I'll actually be able to watch them because I don't have anything going on in the late evenings on Thursday, so that's pretty cool. It's good for the brand, and I'm excited for college football to be back. But it definitely seems like a game where you could just drop it and then you're starting off in the hole, which could be rough.
Minnesota's also always been one of those teams where, if all of a sudden you told me Minnesota's going to start crushing it at football, I'd be like, yeah, it's about time. I'm ready for that. It's Minnesota. Minnesota should just be more prevalent in the sports world. Maybe I'm missing something huge, but they don't have any. They have not had a very good check me on this for sure, but a good 20 years of just sports, whether it be college or NBA or baseball or football. I mean, just the Vikings have made a couple good playoff runs, but Minnesota's a great state. And I want Minnesota to have some sports glory, whatever form that takes. And if it has to come through the Gophers, well, I don't want it to be upsetting the Ohio State tomorrow night. But I would be happy if it's the Gophers.
Yeah, I would need to do some research and fact check this, but I think the only success that entire state has seen in the last 20 years is maybe college hockey. But that's about it.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, that goes without saying. I mean,
but that's it's basically hey, I'm going to admit this game and I'm going to whoop the entire country in it. It's not really fair, but I completely agree. I never really thought about that. You hear about the Clevelands of the world and all that type of stuff that have had these long droughts. No one thinks about Minnesota, Minneapolis, but it's been a minute. It's been a minute since
even Detroit gets some. Detroit gets some. Oh, okay,
the last Minnesota major thing to happen was the Twins in '91. They were the last one to win a title for Minnesota, but also the last one to even appear in a championship was 1991. So,
wow, that's 30 years.
Yeah.
Wait. Didn't the Vikings have that? What's the famous missed field goal? Was that in a NFC
The
Championship?
That
That
was the
was a
NFC
playoff that they
Championship.
have
That
not
was that
reached.
was what Morton Anderson in 1999, I think,
Randy
missed.
Moss and Chris
That was
Carter.
that team would have won. I remember watching that game. That team would have at least given the Broncos a run for their money, but they played the Falcons. And what was his name? Morton Anderson had not missed a kick all season long. At the last second, he missed that kick. The Falcons go to the Super Bowl to face John Elway, and they just get destroyed in the most lackluster Super Bowl in the '90s. That's just darn shame because with Chris Carter and Randy Moss, that would have been pretty good for Minnesota. So
Okay, so I'm gonna read off. I'm springing this on you. So this was not in the show notes today. I'm springing this on you. So I'm gonna read off the top 10 ranked college football programs right now. And between teams 5 and 10, I want you to tell me which one of those you could see making the 4-team playoff by the end of the year. Lots gonna happen, lots to play out, but here goes. One, tell me if you've heard this before. One, Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State. And now 5 through 10, Georgia, Iowa State, Texas A&M, North Carolina, Oregon, and Notre Dame. Based on what you know now, are there any of those teams that stand out to you as they're good enough to be in that top group to make the playoff?
based on what I know right now, I would say none of them would be better than the top 4. But that's the thing about college football. Crazy stuff happens. It'll be one night and, Pittsburgh will beat Clemson on a last-minute field goal, and the whole landscape changes, So while if you looked at everything, I mean, the rankings are the rankings for a reason. It's really hard to see how any of these teams in the lower top 10 can actually get into the top 4. Minus the loss of one of those other teams. I'll tell you a team that I'm really excited about, a team that I would want to see succeed and want to get in the playoffs is Iowa State. Iowa State. Listen. Big 12 is a weird conference right now.
It's not.
Iowa State they've got a good quarterback. They got a pretty decent coach. I think that if they go undefeated, they'll be in the playoffs.
I hate to cut you off like that, but Big 12, the conference is in shambles, right? I don't know what they're doing, but Oklahoma's still Oklahoma. Texas is still not bad. I mean, it's Oklahoma's to lose, that's for sure, but it's going to take Iowa State beating Oklahoma to make the playoff. So if you think that can happen, then fine. That's a viable argument. It is only one game, right?
That's kind of what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right now is I think that if you wanted to look at teams 5 through 10 right now, and you wanted to circle one that could make some noise and sneak into the playoffs, I think Iowa State has that chance because I think they've got a good enough team to run the table in the Big 12 and give Oklahoma a run for their money and eke out a win. They'd probably have to do it twice in the Big 12 championship game. But even then, Big 12 championship game, who knows? Maybe they drop one to Oklahoma in the season, and then they redeem themselves and win the Big 12 championship. You know what I mean?
I think TCU's supposed to be okay this year as well. You know what? The Big 12 is strange, but the top is still the top. And that's when we're talking about playoff team, that's what we're talking about. I think of that group. I could see some crazy thing happening with Clemson. They lose one. That makes room for UNC. I don't know that straight up UNC can beat Clemson. Who knows? Maybe they could. But Georgia is always right in the mix too because Georgia and Alabama. I think the quarterback for Georgia's got a good team right now. They're always competitive, but it's Alabama, man. I don't know. Who's the starting quarterback for Alabama? Do we know that right now?
I think
he's a young guy.
His
last name Young, I think.
If I didn't have my self-imposed ban on ESPN, I probably would know more because probably who all they're talking about right now on that stupid station. But
wait a minute. Hold on a minute. I don't want to unpack the whole suitcase. Unzip the first pouch and tell me more about this self-imposed ban. What are you doing here?
I think that ESPN is trying to make a play right now to destroy college football, as we know and love today. And so I don't want to support them anymore with my money or clicks,
In what way?
Oh, Well, they're the ones who are behind the deal with SEC trying to make Oklahoma and Texas a part of the SEC. They've come out with freaking Paul Feinbaum, that stooge, when they when the Big Ten and the Pac-12 and the ACC all talked about this alliance to make sure that like everything's competitive. ESPN threw out all these people, on all the morning shows or whatever, talking about how dumb of an idea it is, and it's really not like there's totally a media war behind the scenes, and ESPN is trying to pull the strings to make sure that when the college football playoff expands, because it's going to expand, it's done when they have the rights to broadcast it all, versus 3 years from now when that contract's up and it's an open season for the bidding. So they're totally trying to manipulate the entire college football landscape to destroy it, in my opinion. So that's why I'm against them.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Change it for sure, but I don't know. We're still going to have college football, which is that what we really care about? I mean, we're going to have the games. They'll probably be on ESPN Plus, but we're going to have them all accessible. I mean, more games are going to be broadcast than ever before. But I mean, how bad is this for us?
Well, think about this, and this maybe I'm just an old school guy. Maybe I just
you're going where I think you're going to go, but tradition has already been there's so much tradition in college football, which is a big reason why so many diehards care about it, because it's chock full of tradition. So much of it's dying already; it's already gone. Then, so like
it's dying because of the money. So all we're doing is just hammering the nail into the coffin and call it like you'll never all the things that we love about how one Thursday night and Thursday night college football game where the underdog team is just really amped up and the super teams comes in and they fall short. That stuff will go by the wayside because they won't even be playing each other anymore. When you start talking about these super conferences and these super teams, like it'll be all these really elite teams that are on this higher tier that is even more significant than what we have today, where a team like Purdue or Indiana will never beat an Ohio State. So much so that Ohio State probably won't even play them anymore at some point. If we keep going down this route where we've said, okay, well, 25 college football schools in America are the best schools, so all the kids are going to be going to those schools only. And you know what? Hey, we'll make a lot more money if we just have them play each other and create the super conference instead of these regional conferences that we have. Maybe people would love that. Maybe people would love seeing like the best of college football playing in like the smaller division, basically. But I don't want to see that. I want to see those upsets. I want to see an Appalachian State beat Michigan. You know what I mean? But they won't even be playing each other at some point.
But even if that happens, won't the Indianas and Purdue's be calling up the TCU's and the Cals and stuff, and they'll start playing each other too? And it's not like those programs are going to go away.
They will.
You're still going to have the fans of those teams will still have people to root for and games to watch, and they'll all be televised. You'll be able to watch them. It's an opportunity to, and I'm just being devil's advocate here because I'm not saying I want this, but it's an opportunity to create all new rivals, or all new traditions that we've never seen before. That's something, right? I mean,
that would happen.
Maybe one day Stanford versus Minnesota is going to be like a huge crazy. It won't be a part of the super conference, crazy conference, but it'll still be an awesome quality. The product's still going to be good.
A Stanford will play Minnesota, and no one's going to watch it. And you know how I know no one's going to watch it? I can't even get Pitt games televised in freaking Pittsburgh. I can't even watch it on the TV in my own local market. You know what I mean?
So if you can't watch it now, then there's a problem now.
Broadcasters won't watch it. They won't air that stuff. They won't. They just won't. It's about the money, man. There'll be no money. It'll be like college baseball. No one really watches college. The hardcore folks, they'll do it, but the smaller schools that aren't part of like the 25 best schools in the country, they won't. No one's gonna watch it, and they'll die.
Hey, I guess college football's dead as far as we know. So
enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, enjoy it while it lasts. All right, well, you've worn me out, Scotty. You came in here on fire, and my eyebrows are singed. So thank you for that. Anything else to cap off the today's ep? I'm never going to say that again.
I think the folks have heard me talk enough.
I'm exhausted. Yeah,
I feel
Andrew's already
great.
slouching. He's sitting back in his chair. He's got this like glazed over look. He's just waiting for this misery to end. Scotty, you need to bring it like this every time. I wish I could meet you. I need to have like a little Red Bull or something.
Do you want this actually? Because I feel like I just killed the vibe of I've just destroyed modern sports as we know it. So
You did kill all of college football. I don't think
And
it's
you
that
killed
bleak,
Cam
Scott.
Newton. Like
You killed Cam
killed,
Newton.
like,
You
everybody
crushed
today.
Cam Newton. You killed what happened to you destroyed the Mets. They destroyed
the Mets.
themselves, but you laid
they're
it on.
awful.
Cam Newton's dead. The Mets are dead, and college football's dead.
Good game. Well played. Thumbs down.
All right.
Hey, real quick. You know what I am excited about though?
No.
The Bengals have a kicker, baby.
Okay, that show's over. Show's over.
No,
All
okay.
right.
So
Thank you, everyone.
something that we didn't do last time that I totally forgot about. We didn't do top 3 at the last episode.
God. Well, we had come back from a hiatus, so it was like
We
it had
did.
been a
Yeah,
while.
it had been a while. But
Well, I've got one for you now. Who wants it? This is a good one.
I'll go.
You want it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. Top 3 Keanu Reeves movies. You wanted it. You said you wanted it.
I did want it. This isn't really that hard if you think about it. I would say Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the first Matrix, and only the first Matrix, and why am I drawing a blank on his like awesome action movie that like I actually really enjoy and love?
You mean all of them?
No.
yeah, like which
the
one?
main one.
That's like every
John
single
Wick.
one.
John Wick. Yeah, John Wick.
Anybody
Okay.
else have one?
Yeah, technically it's Scotty's turn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm not. He doesn't have one.
I can think of one real quick.
Well, let's hear it, buddy. How quick is real quick?
Am I giving this to Andrew?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're out of practice.
We are, as you can, yes, it is plain to see and hear.
Yes. I would top 3 dipping sauces.
God, he's on fire today. That is a not that Andrew. I give you permission to pass. That is too difficult a question.
No,
How dare you,
I kind
Scotty?
of like this one. Sweet and sour from McDonald's. Honey from Burger King.
Just a thing of honey.
Yeah, it's like I used to dip chicken fries in there like all the time. And then the number 1 for me is just some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. Just like bam, dip in there. Let's go.
That's solid.
I mean, mine was also kind of food related. So Kevin,
I'm ready.
top 3 Lay's potato chip flavors.
Sour cream and onion, barbecue. Wait a minute. Can you rephrase the question?
No.
Can you say it again?
Top 3.
Because I have a technicality for my last chip.
Okay. Top 3 Lay's potato chip flavors.
Ruffles don't count.
It's
Okay,
just
fine.
the flavor, like the.
That was
flavor
it. Okay, that
profile,
answers the question. Sour cream and onion, obviously. Barbecue, obviously. And original. Thank you. Oh, before we go, next week we're going to be starting live in-person show. Not live, you know what I mean. In-person shows. We're all going to be Pittsburgh-based for a time here, so that'll be exciting. And anybody drafting this weekend, good luck. I know we will all be drafting this Saturday and Sunday. Fantasy season is upon us. I think we're going to start either adding an additional segment to the show about just specific to our family's fantasy league that the 3 of us are all in, as well as some others. Or it might be like an addendum, like bonus show. We'll keep it tight, but it's worth chronicling the experiences that we have in fantasy sports and otherwise. So till then, stay safe, and I will never use the word "ep" again. So, yeah.
Shout out to 81 Vineyards.
Oh yes,
81 Vino, let's go.
81 Vino.
We can never get the name right, but yes, 81 Vino. Yes.
It's okay.
Adios. All right. So if you've listened this far, you must, for some reason, like what you've heard. So, given that, please remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to follow us on Twitter @ObsessionCast for all future episode updates. and whatever else we might post, sports related or otherwise. Thanks for watching.